Alright, we're going to finish 6.3. It's called factor trinomials by grouping. That's our AC method. Same thing. Remember, grouping involves 4 terms, and that takes us to our first 2 steps. When you rewrite and split the middle, that's what gives you your 4th term. Alright, so this is your practice, so I would suggest you pause it, see if you can follow the steps. Do one at a time. We have 6 examples. That's our first one. Alright, so if you didn't pause it yet, please pause it and try it. So I'm going to start. Step 1. First times the third. 2 times 3 equals 6. Take 6 to the side. 1, 6, 2, 3. Alright, and we need to get it to be a 7. It's a plus plus. Plus plus gives us plus plus. So then we just add across. This is 7, this is 5. Alright, so we need the plus 7. So that's this. And that's our answer to it. So now that we know that, we can rewrite it. 2m squared plus 7m plus 3. This is where we're going to split the middle. So we take this and split it. So we're going to split it to a plus. Since these are all positives, it's plus 1 and plus 6. So it's not going to matter on this problem where you put them. So let's just put plus m here. That would be plus 1m. Plus 6m. Plus 1m plus 6m gives us plus 7m. Alright, so we split the middle. That gives us our 4 terms. Put your 3 here, bring down your 2m squared. So the second step, we split the middle, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. 4 terms means grouping, and you use the AC method. Alright, so step 3. We rewrite this 2m squared plus m plus 6m plus 3. And then we group it. I'm going to keep to the colors. I have green for grouping. And then we do greatest common factor. So step 4. So you look here, can't pull a number out, but I can pull a letter out, m. Put our sign in. 2m squared divided by m gives me 2m. M divided by m is 1. On this side, it's all positive, so put plus. Let's pull out 3 goes into 6, so that means we can pull a 3 out. And that's just going to be our setup. 6m divided by 3 will give us 2m. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And our last step is, if they're the same, we can switch them. Same switch. They're the same, so we can switch our partners. So it's going to be m plus 3 and 2m plus 1. Alright, so that's our first problem. If you need to pause it, please do so. Alright, let's go to the next one. Alright, 5p squared minus 2p minus 3. So for all of our problems, when we start them, we should always be looking out, should we take out a greatest common factor? Now this we cannot, because these are all prime numbers, so we can't pull anything out of it, and there's no letter here, variable here, so we can't pull out a letter either. So we should be checking that to start. Alright, so since we can't do that, we stick to our main steps here. First times the third term. That's 5 times 3 equals 15. we take the 15 over here. 1 and 15, 3 and 5. It's a minus minus. Come down here and look. Minus minus is a double list. 1, 15, 3 and 5. Alright, this is where you look and you see, oh, I have to get a negative 2. Well, you're not getting a 2 with the 1 and the 15. But just to show you what you would get, here you would have 14, and here you would have a 2. Negative 14, negative 2. Alright, so now we know we need a negative 2. So this is my answer here. So that's a plus 3 and negative 5. So then step 2, I'm going to rewrite 5p squared minus 2p minus 3. And then I'm going to split my middle. This is going to split. I have a 3 and a 5. Now look at my numbers. I have a 5 and a 3. So this could make a difference on how you split them. So I'm going to put the negative 5 first. Negative 5p. And over here I'm going to put the plus 3p. Because the numbers will be more compatible with each other when we go to do the next, the greatest common factor step. So this is 5p squared, and I'm going to bring down my negative 3. Alright, then we rewrite it again. This is our grouping step. 5p squared minus 5p plus 3p minus 3. Okay, grouping. We group our first two, group our second two. Now we have two binomials. Alright. And then we go greatest common factor. Alright, well here you can see you're definitely pulling out a 5. And you have p squared and p, which means we can pull a p out. Set up your parentheses, bring your sign down. 5p squared divided by 5p is just p. 5p divided by 5p is 1. Next one, we have 3, so that's a positive 3, and no letter can come out. So set up our parentheses, put your sign in. 3p divided by 3 is just a p. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So now you have step 5, same switch. These are the same. That means they can switch partners. So we have 5p plus 3, p minus 1. Okay, let's try another one. And once you figure this out, how to do this, you know how to do every problem in the whole chapter. Because you can use this skill no matter what problem you're on. Which is great. Okay, so here we go. First times third term. Not first thing, check greatest common factor. We have 15, a 1, and a 2. A 1 and a 2 are no good, they can't go any lower. So then we do first times third, 15 times 2 equals 30. We bring our 30 over here. Now remember, we're looking for a negative 1. So it's not going to be 1 times 30, or 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and 5 and 6. So if you're thinking, oh, well, it has to be 1, well, it has to be 5 and 6. It's negative, negative. That's a double list. So the only one you really have to double is 5 and 6. You know, try to save yourself a little bit of time at this point. And you're just going to go like this, a negative here and a negative here. Because you know this can't be right, this can't be right, and that can't be right. They can't give you a 1. So this one will give you a positive 1, this one will give you a negative 1. So we need a negative 1, so that means this is our answer. So let's rewrite it and split the middle. So I have 15k squared minus km minus 2m squared. And you can leave them just like this and solve it. Okay, so we do that. Now we split the middle. So we have a 5 and a 6. So you figure out which one, where do I put it? Which side should I put it on? And this one I don't think it's going to make a difference, but I've always put the 5 with a compatible number of a 5. I think that just makes sense. So you have plus 5, make sure you put the variable here, km minus 6 km. Bring the rest down, 15k squared minus 2m squared. And then the third step is to group it. So we rewrite it again, 15k squared plus 5km minus 6km minus 2m squared. Okay, I rewrote it. So now it's neat, I can see my steps. That's why I write it this many times. Make sure your negative is inside the parentheses and put a plus sign in there. Alright, now we do greatest common factor. So here we're going to pull out a 5. And we have k squared and km. So we can take a k out. 5k. It's like a race. Bring your sign down. 15 divided by 5 is 3. K squared divided by k is k. 5 divided by 5 is 1. K divided by k is 1. And then you just have an m left. Okay, that one's finished. Now we go to the second binomial. And you can see that it starts with a negative. So we have to pull out the negative. We have a 2 and a 6. So we're going to take a 2 for the greatest common factor. Km and m squared. So we can pull out an m. Set your parentheses up. Change your signs, right? We pulled out a negative. Change, that's positive. Change, that's positive. Make sure you pay attention to those signs. Then don't worry about signs now because you already took care of them. 6 divided by 2 is 3. That looks right. Km divided by m. M's cancel. You're left with k. Negative 2m squared. Negative 2m. That means you're left with just m. So they're the same. We can switch them. So you're going to get 5k minus 2m and 3k plus m. Alright, we're halfway done. Pause it if you need to. Alright, we have 4x squared minus 2x minus 30. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is, can you pull out a greatest common factor? And for this one, the answer is yes. Alright, so we're going to pull out 4, 2, and so that's our lowest number. 2 can go into 4. 2 can also go into 30. So we're going to pull out a 2. Signs stay the same. So you just divide everything by 2. This would be 2x squared. This will just be negative x. And this will be 15. Okay. So that's your GCF here. So now all we're working with is in the parentheses right now. So we're going to go like this. 2 times 15. Oh man, we just had this done. 30. 30. And we need a negative 1. Well, we just did it. Remember? 1, 32, 2, 15, 3, 10, 5, 6. Oh, 5 and 6. It's a negative, negative. That's a double list. So we know it's 5 and 6 again. And this one we need a negative 1. So we put a negative in the first, negative in the second. This would be 1, this would be negative 1. That's our answer. Okay? So now, here's the important part. You have to bring this down. Even if you went like this, and you just put a 2 here at the bottom of your paper to know that I have to put that greatest common factor in my answer. Then you can just focus on this part. So now that we did that, now we're on step 2. Rewrite it. So we're not worried about the 2 because we already put it at the very bottom. So now we can just focus on this. 2x squared minus x minus 15. Split my middle. So I have 5 and a 6. So I put my negative 6x here, because they're compatible, and my positive 5x here, because the 5 and the 15 are compatible. Either way you do with this one, I believe it will work out fine. And we can just bring this down with the blue, it won't matter. Alright, group it. So I'll rewrite it with the black. 2x squared minus 6x plus 5x minus 15. Now we do greatest common factor. So that's going to pull out a 2 here and an x. Put my sign in. 2x squared divided by 2x leaves me with x. 6x divided by 2x is going to leave me with a 3. Alright, over here we put our plus sign in. We're going to take out a 5 because 5 can go into 15. And there's only one variable. There's not one here, so we can't do anything with that. Put our parenthesis back in. Now we do 5x divided by 5 leaves me with x. Okay, that's good. Minus 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, we did that. Cool. Alright, here's the part that can get tricky sometimes. You have a greatest common factor here, so you have to put in brackets. They have to be separated. This has to be separated. So when I do my same switch here, you're going to have 2x plus 5 and x minus 3. So this is the answer to this part, but we also have a greatest common factor of 2 over here. Alright, so that whole thing is your answer at the bottom. If you miss the 2 and don't bring it down, the problem's wrong, because it won't give you the right answer if you try to get back to this. Alright, we have 2 left. Here we go. P to the 4th plus 63 p to the 3rd plus 27 p squared. Alright, the first thing you have to do is figure out what can you pull out of this one, because it doesn't start with p squared. So you need greatest common factors in this problem. Alright, so here we go. We're going to pull out a 9 p to the 2nd. The rest is going to stay in parentheses. So this is going to come out to be 2p squared plus 7p plus 3. Let me bring this down a little bit here. Okay. Now I would just do the same thing if you're okay with it. Bring this all the way down to the bottom. 9p squared. Wherever you plan on writing your answer, we'll leave that down there because you need that there or else it's all wrong. This is a lot of work to get wrong. Alright, first times third. First times third. 2 times 3 equals 6. Then we probably get rid of this 30 over here. Now we have 6, which is 1, 6, 2, 3. Plus plus, so they're all plus plus. So this is a 7 and a 5. Now we just have to pick which one are we going to use. It's plus 7. So that's this one. Alright, so step 2 is rewrite it. So I have 2p squared plus 7p plus 3. Now I'm going to split my middle. It's our blue step. So I have a 1 and a 6. So the 6, and they can go with either one, I believe. But I'll put the 6 here, plus 6p, and I'll put plus p here. P plus 6p is 7p. Alright? Alright, I'll be back in a second.